Hello,
Hey,
listeners.
Coxie. I'm talking over the top of you again.
Well, I can't see you because I'm busy trying to find this joke, and somehow I've lost it. Now
Oh
I'm
no,
worried I'm going to say the wrong thing.
the whole episode's going to be ruined, Nick.
I found it. It's okay. I found it.
I was going to say it obviously wasn't that great because you can't remember it.
I cannot. The pressure's on. No, I did a lot of research this morning. I did my research on Pinterest, which is not an area that I wouldn't ever have thought of to go to find a joke, and it's probably not an area I'll ever go to again.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, let's see how we go. What do you got?
How did the mortgage on the deserted island feel?
Mm, okay, I'm not seeing the connection. How?
Alone.
Boom, boom.
Pretty terrible, I admit.
Oh, it's not some of your best work, Coxie. You've had some good ones. You've had some where I've genuinely thought that was pretty funny, but because I'm just so prepped for the fake laugh, it never sounds authentic, even if I actually found it funny.
I think I've made an error in trying to theme my jokes with what we're talking about in the episode, and perhaps I need to rein it back in, get out of my own way, and just find a great joke that makes everybody laugh
Mm.
rather than groan.
Stop trying to play my game of doing the segue, Coxie.
Yeah, okay, I'll get out of your way. There you go.
No, all I can see there is space, just
Yeah.
empty space. Unlike people's mortgage accounts at the moment.
Oof.
Speaking of segues, I bet there's not much space in people's mortgages with the way interest rates have been.
No, it's been a challenging look, it's been a really challenging 4 years. Let's call it for what it is. I don't think
Mm.
that's changing anytime soon. And I think it's time that you and I spoke to, I guess, what the community's feeling. We've tried to avoid some of the feeling of panic that's been out there in the community for a long time and be that voice of reason. I think it's one of those times where we need to, I guess, encourage you to start thinking a bit differently.
What do they say? They have a lot to answer for. I've
They
said that many
really do.
times. They say, whoever they is, well, I'm not even going to go there, that tough times call for tough measures or something.
Mm.
Or what doesn't destroy you only makes you stronger.
Yeah, and
I
a whole
think
lot
is the
of other.
correct quote, not the kill thing. Someone changed it to what doesn't kill you makes you stronger because nothing kills you, so everything makes you stronger.
Yep, it's all rubbish.
And
Anyway,
none of that matters a lick of ice cream when your interest rates have tripled, quadrupled over a couple year period. I
mm,
think a lot of people don't realize that it's been like a fourfold increase
yes.
over that period of time. I know for myself, my repayments have doubled.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of my own, and I don't think they've quite doubled, but they've gone up a good, I want to say $1,800 a month, maybe more.
Mm.
A
And
significant increase.
I bet nobody's profits have.
No.
Well, I won't say nobody. Hey, if your profits have doubled in that time and you're listening to this podcast, first thing I've got is why. What do you listen to us for if you've already doubled your profits? Or maybe your profits have doubled because you're listening to us.
Perhaps.
Please also get in touch because I'd like some back pay, please, for all of the advice. I'll even share it with Coxie.
Thanks.
But there wouldn't be too many people who have experienced a fourfold increase in their profit percentage versus a fourfold increase in interest rates. So it's caused a lot of stress. And I think what we're seeing, Nick, is the dust cloud is settling and there's a lot of people with a lot of dust and a lot of shade getting thrown on them financially this year, sort of back end of 2023 and coming into 24 now. I think the whole thing is starting to come home to roost. And ironically, emotionally, people are perhaps getting a little optimistic about some of the talk in the media that, oh, rates might start coming down or holding or whatever. And even if they do, and I'm not going to swear in this episode, it's a bit freaking late because no point getting excited because now is when all of the poo storm really starts.
Yeah, and I don't think it's just for you as a business owner, it's for your clients as well.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it, Nick? Like
100%. It's not
clients
just
are
about you.
run out of money, and so that just flows on up to small business.
It does. Not all clients. So I do want to just give a little tiny silver lining. Not all clients.
No,
And
it's all doom and gloom, Nick. It's
most
all
clients.
stuff. We might as well just quit now.
No, I want to ride in on my big white horse with my silver armor and a sword, ready to protect all of the tradies.
I'm picturing you with a suit of armor and an enormous sword on a
Sword.
little white pony. That
Okay, now
is
that
a
you have that
visual
mental
that
image,
that
here I come in riding on my pony.
that visual has just made my day, I have to say.
Maybe we'll get the team to create that
Oh yes,
AI.
I'm gonna get some artwork done of Nicole Cox in a suit of armor with a huge sword.
So,
Right.
um, we'll come to that bit where I come in and save you. But the truth is, it's getting tough out there. It's been tough out there for a good 6 to 8 months. We saw a lot of financial stress coming into the back end of last year. I've seen a great deal of influx of inquiries through December, January, and a bit of false sense of security in the industry, if I call it for what it is.
Mm,
Not all of the industry. Again, we've got lots of clients that are doing incredibly well. They've got work booked out a minimum of 6 months, many of them 12 to 18 months in advance. We've got a builder in a rural area that is booked out almost 2 years in advance with many millions of dollars worth of work. So it's not all doom and gloom. There are sectors in the market that are largely currently unaffected by the state of the play. And I guess that's what this episode is about today. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about this for you and your business, and more importantly, for your families? Because I think we get stuck into thinking, oh, it'll be all right, it'll be all right. They'll bring it down. We'll listen to whatever hype is going on in the media at the moment. There's a lot of hype at the media talking about the fact they're going to bring the interest rates down. I personally don't believe we'll see it this year. I think maybe next year if we're lucky. This year, I don't think we're going to see them start to topple down just yet. There's too much else going on in the background. And so we need to think about what this looks like for the next 12 months for us. Are your charge out rates currently covering your what's required as an income level for your family? Are you targeting the right kind of clients so that you are continuing with work instead of getting the dreaded softening within the market that we often see during times like this? Or are you just sitting there being complacent, thinking it'll be all right? Interest rates start to come down, everything's all right. Or reasonably sitting there being really cranky and blaming the world for what's going on. Because the truth is, it's not your fault. Absolutely not your fault that you're in this position. It's not your fault that you're feeling overwhelmed. It's not your fault that you are stuck where you are stuck within your business at the moment, but it is your responsibility to make a change. It is your responsibility to get out there and drive towards what it is that you want. It is your responsibility to stop being complicit in whatever's going on in the big bad world and make that change, because it can happen for you. It doesn't need to be the way it feels like it should be at the moment.
mm. I think it's really hard to separate the whole fault and responsibility sometimes for people as well, Nick.
Yes.
And because when you start saying it's not your fault, even within myself, I feel a little lighter. It's like, ah, awesome, bloody government and stupid COVID and damn suppliers jacking their prices up or whatever's going on, right? It's like I feel like, oh, great, I can just put all that down now. I don't have to think about it. But the rub is that it is our responsibility to, I guess, take care of our own patch. And it's a important distinction to recognize that, well, I can't change what has happened with COVID, and I can't change what the government are doing about interest rates. So there's no point bitching and moaning about it or feeling depressed about it. Where I do need to divert my energy is into, well, what can I control and what can I do? And what can I do now to not repeat the same mistakes if you're listening to this and you've gotten caught out, maybe the phone's gone quiet or you took your eye off the ball a bit during the last few years because, work was just coming in and you didn't put enough money aside to allow for quieter times. Um, they are some great lessons that you can learn from to take different actions so that when this shit happens again, and it will, at some point in human history, it'll happen again, probably while you're still alive, or however old you are or young you are listening to this. You're in a different position
Mm.
than where you find yourself right now. Whether that's marketing, whether it's cash flow, it doesn't matter what it is. It's about making some different decisions. So I think It's kind of a cautionary tale, Nick, around interest rates. Like maybe they'll come down. I feel excited about that. I'm just going to be honest. If interest rates hold or reduce, I feel excited about that. But I'm also like you, Coxie, not willing to bet the farm on that one possibility. Because the other possibility is that government goes, well, the Reserve Bank goes, yeah, no, we're not seeing enough. We're just going to pop them up another 25 points. And we're going to do that 3 months in a row. And all of a sudden, consumers, clients, your customers, listeners, your clients are going to make a mess in their bed and sit on their wallets even harder.
Mm,
So that's another possibility.
mm.
And there's other possibilities that most of us don't look at. I think too often we go worst case or
Yeah.
best case, and we don't do enough planning and preparation for the in between scenarios.
Okay, so what are we going to do about it? How are we going to help our listeners make some change so they're not stuck in the same position in 12 months' time, wondering whether they're going to be able to afford another mortgage payment or not?
Just run around in a flat panic and blame everybody else.
Remember, what was the chicken's name? It's not Henny Penny. It's one of
Yeah,
Sky
the
Spot.
sky's falling.
Yeah, it kind of feels a little bit like that. I
Yeah,
lots of our listeners won't even know who that is. However, there are some things that you can do straight
yeah.
away, and that is to get in control of your cash flow. It's to understand what your cash flow is doing. It's to have your eye on the price, to be looking ahead, not always behind. Some of the problems with what we do in business and the reporting and the tax structure and all of that stuff that we're used to conforming to, it's looking behind, it's not looking ahead. And so we really need to understand, well, what's likely to happen with your cash flow? Some of it's going to be guessing because of the trade you're in. That's okay. You can have a reasonably well-educated guess so that you can see the potholes before you land in them. But we need to get clear about what's coming. We need to be understanding of what our charge out rates look like and what our back costing is doing, because so many tradies
Gosh.
still don't understand the power of back costing. Many won't do it because they're frightened of what it's going to tell you. You know that you're probably not making the money that you should have, the jobs that you've quoted and won and performed, and that 15% profit margin you thought was going to be there actually turned into 2 or 3, or sometimes it costs you money. But until you actually get that information, nothing's going to change. It's super, super important that we understand through back costing what's actually happening on our jobs. That information can't be replaced. That's another thing that you could be doing quite regularly. And then we're going to have a whole bunch of other strategies, work that we'll be sharing in a webinar this evening. If you're listening to this as it goes live on Tuesday, the something of February, I think it's the
29th, I think, is it, Nick?
no,
That'd be kind of special, wouldn't it?
I think it's
No. Oh, that's disappointing. I want to do it on the 29th because, like, not to be seen again for another 4
4 years.
years.
Never
No,
made
it's on
it.
the 27th instead.
Okay, so at 5 p.m. Sydney time today, the 27th, we will be doing a cash flow webinar. It's a 30-minute training specifically for trade business owners to help you understand 3 things that you can immediately do to begin to get control of your cash flow. It's free. Why not give it a go? What could
30
you
minutes.
possibly do with 30 minutes worth of knowledge and information? How could you begin to change your business so you don't end up in the very same position that so many unfortunately will, because they're not looking ahead and understanding what might be coming?
Yeah. Look, I don't know what else we can say about this, Coxie, other than you can stick your head in the sand and just hope that things will get better. Hope that interest rates come down soon and just try and hold on by your fingernails. Or you could pull your head out of the sand or out of somewhere else and take some positive action. Do something differently. It's not difficult. It's not complicated. It does require some harder choices, and we're going to show you what those choices are in the web session. You can take the stuff that we teach away and implement it for free, as we've always promised here on the podcast. So you don't have to give me that back pay I was talking about earlier. And dead set, you could easily increase your profits by 40, 50, 60% over a few months period just by making a few small changes, and make a massive difference to your cash flow, meaning how much is in your bank account, so that when interest rates go up again, you go, yeah, we got that covered.
Yeah, we're going to be okay.
Mm.
Now, if you are listening and you have missed, it's no longer Tuesday the 27th and you've missed this evening's webinar, you can reach out to us and ask for a copy of the replay. We will record this one for you. So just reach out via Messenger Providing you're, somewhat current to the time, we will still have a copy of it that we could send you so that you can watch it on replay. Just hit us up over on Facebook or even make an inquiry through the website, so that we can have the team send that out to you ASAP.
Thanks for listening.
Hooroo.